The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress, blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Shot. Put an end to him. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks travelled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Locked. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Slice and dice. Chop, chop. Almost there. Flash the slash. Might not need that now, but later. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. How Lupa Lupin somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. The question is, what? There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the disciples turned against each other. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Mooma knows you are here. Sounds like he thinks she does, despite your heart growing dark. There's nothing as powerful as a Mooma's love. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. Magic? He claims it's just the force of life, the existence of energy, powering and connecting all things living, like the Nono. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree. The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart of the land. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become... You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the root. But today, your focus is getting... Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai. One day, the land won't... You can already see the effects from how... He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. That's not true. She's the He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the tree of life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. Records tell of the ruinous devastation the Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land. The apocalypse sparked a re-evolution, the second coming, and our lineage. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his Octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of date, the road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friend... He wants you to Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the... You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Be the World Eater that chewed off Out of Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. It's a bridge. Just get over it. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here.
He
worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the tree... He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells...
Eller macho peso so.
Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that.
That's a spark of light in you!
That's right. Smack that spark out before it starts.
You don't have to be so harsh. It's such a little spark.
Take it out now while it's small.
There's always another spark.
There's out of date again. He must have missed something important.
Tamuk gabamuk tampa. Wherefore, where?
Out of date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe.
Tuluya. Utulula.
The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good
Paikatawa. Mpa. Wherefore, where?
regardless of who. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni.
Ya yumawa. Ububu tubuko.
He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your
Kabobe fatuluwoya lu yalubatulu.
out of
Miss.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? Pump you up. It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded.
Slash. Swoop.
That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Says the Sifu gets to choose who sees the Sifu. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's... But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. The wall that separates them from the other side? The wasteland you came from? He guesses the time spent there just left a blank space in your memory, as He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and there's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can... The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupa Lupin attacked the old village. Soon after, they formed new tribes based on their own values, and when the Blight started, the animosity escalated to war. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of Life. He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no... The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other. The Myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribes and take control of the... Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have... You need to take the struggle to the enemy, or the enemy will bring it to you. When survival is threatened, there's no other option left but war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war that bonds as much as it breaks. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again. You were all part of the same tribe once, but without your Muma there as a guide, the disciples turned on each other and fought. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul, and anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village, he can't blame you for not remembering, but he can sense the You have things to do, places to go to. Shines happy that the Myriad can count on a friend as Didn't have much else to say. Says there's an interesting place nearby that no one knows about, but doesn't really want to talk about it right now. Sparkles about how brilliant it is to have someone like understands you. Says there's an Says there's no reason to let you in on where it is. Says there's no reason to make threats. Would have told you about it sooner or later. Thought you were smart enough to know better than to try to save. Thinks you should find a good place to hole up. Wouldn't be so. Happy the tree still looks so good. Says you should take it easy. Thinks Myriad and Netra are.
koiras was quadre draikopotia.
Says there's a...
Ha, de puttera.
needs a logical reason to reveal the secret.
Koirak soille trodan letra maitra chaitru. Ketkore lauma kettu madaravat oiraika.
Nu kayo kito. Oh, taig maula.
The gatekeeper welcomes you back to the fort. Let's see. Cutting edge. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. You're harmed. The deep cut. What a blow! You're injured. You've been eating right. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Then he wants you to know that if you find yourself going through bad times, you should just keep... He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. He understands Wang Fu is hard. That's why your Muma only has 6 disciples, doing just... He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Why not? There's no better time to do what... He says, that wasn't too bad, was it? He says, but you need practice. Lots of practice. You need to rely on... You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. Judging by your Muma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. She's not unhappy with your progress, but you should know, practice makes perfect. She says nobody is perfect. That's why you practice. She'll see you at the village square. She understands, but sometimes you need to do what... Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with is actually... He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. It's your own future you're risking by not caring for the environment. The next generation... You should look for things that are... He wonders what usefulness you found. Sometimes he can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. But that's his point, to take... He'd love to teach you to... You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He says you don't really need a weapon when you're... He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. Gizmo doesn't... He's looking forward to seeing what you... It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself. She says it's not only about this moment, and you've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He's not scared of anything, least of all you. There's no way they'll let you pass. He wants to know who you think you are. He says you're right. Nobody can tell him what he can and... She asks if you're hurt. What happened? She's there for all disciples. That's her commitment as Sifu. And when the most important... It's time to focus on your training now. She suggests that you forget. Is someone close to heart, doing what he does best? Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. He knows growing up is hard, and things will continue to... He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training. He'll leave the quick part to you. He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how it... He's curious to see what you found. He's gathered so much over the years and it's hard to remember. He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle.
Ecinie diava.
Says at least dirt.
Guga. Uno shalafin.
He says it's about... The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp. You should take it with you, wear it to practice.
Munteo mastura.
He agrees that you need to keep some things to yourself.
Vaksan mar malva cherry.
He's looking forward. Your Muma says it's about time you got here. Says being on time would be... She says she is eager to get started. But there's enough time left for repetition and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back. Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you. You should just keep working. You should go see him and find out. Reminds you that the best... Catchy. Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful. Thinks you could say that about everything. She hopes you have better days ahead. A piece of scraptronics like this has built... It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see.
Ate ko baba sakting.
You should think
Anora kapapum.
your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day.
Masama.
Everything. Rest and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupa from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming.
Gendra namala.
Lupa Lupin.
Tukumba. Erena masalapu.
Whatever happens, you need to know she loves you.
Mustiki muka.
She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History has finally caught up with her.
Tukumba.
She had a life before you were born, you know. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on.